Right, here we go then. Everything seems to be working. I hope the audio is coming through. If it's not, we'll figure it out as we go along. Welcome to the Dreamwave Rabbit Hole. What is the Dreamwave Rabbit Hole? Well, it has suddenly dawned on me, and I say suddenly dawned on me, it dawned on me like several weeks ago, that we are fast approaching the end of 2024, and in December of 2004, some 20 years ago, would see the last issue of Dreamwave. I believe it was the second week of December 2004. Dreamwave published their last book. So we're approaching the 20th anniversary of the end of Dreamwave, and I wanted to do something. I wanted to spend a little bit of time thinking about Dreamwave because, as I mentioned in a live stream that I did yesterday, it was thanks to Dreamwave, which I know, and I'm probably the only one who does say that. Not only did Dreamwave get me back into Transformers in a big way, but it also brought me into the world of comic books, a world that I still very, very much enjoy now. I'm also in the midst of doing a collection of Marvel UK. This has become my new thing. I am looking for issues of Marvel UK, and that is an ongoing new project of mine because, bear with me 1 second while I summon all of my strength to do this, I have got pretty much all of Dreamwave. This is basically all of Transformers Dreamwave. Now, there are a few issues missing. And when I say a few issues, I don't mean a few single issues, I mean covers. This is pretty much all of the Transformers that Dreamwave put out. And my plan, as it is to figure out which ones I'm missing and figure out how easy it is to get them. So, this live stream, I was going to be doing this anyway tonight, and I thought, well, why don't I do it in front of the world for 3 people who actually care about this stuff? But I also thought it might be quite fun if we just sort of had a chat if anybody is particularly interested. Otherwise, this is just me cross-referencing what I have with the wiki and see how long it lasts before either I go crazy or my computer just decides to commit harikari because it doesn't want to deal with me looking at Dreamwave stuff. So, if you wish to join in, by all means, we certainly don't have to talk about Dreamwave the whole time. That would be an awful lot of Dreamwave talk. That would be more talk than anybody has ever given to Dreamwave. But let's see how this goes and see if anybody is even in the slightest bit interested. So, here we go. I'm going to do this basically in series. I do apologise. That's Evie in the background. If you want to know why Evie pines all of the time, bless her, Evie's like 16 years old and she has the doggy equivalent of like dementia. And so she gets a little restless on a nighttime, which is a horrible thing, really. But, yeah, bless her. So, if you wonder why she's pining all of the time, it's not because we don't feed her or anything like that. It is literally just because she's a little disconcerted. Probably because of the fact that her master is deciding to spend all of his time looking at Dreamwave comics. So, let's get started. Right. So, this is all of the stuff which is really easy. So, we have the preview issue and the other preview issue for G1. Let's have a look. So next, like I know I have all of these, so I'm just literally going through. So that's Autobot cover A, Decepticon cover A for issue 1. Let's just pull all of these out quickly. The foil cover, we've got that. Hold on. These need to go that way so that they can go back in. Foil cover. Second printing cover, third printing cover, and incentive cover. Yes. So that is all of the preview and issue 1s. So that's fine. So we have all of that. Issue 2, Autobot cover A, Decepticon cover A. Right, yeah. I figured as much. I've messed this up when it came to bagging and boarding it all these years ago. And then cover, the reissue cover, the second printing, I guess it would be. And then I've also got that cover from issue 5. I don't know why that's there. I need to get a fresh bag and board to sort that out. So that is issue 2. Why am I jumping to issue 4? Where's issue 3? There's issue 3. Okay. Let's have a look. Issue 3 only has the 2 covers, so that's A and B, Autobot and Decepticon. And then issue 4, I believe, just has the 2 covers as well. Yeah, issue 4, Autobot and Decepticon. And then issue 5, we've already seen. Oh no, that's interesting. That image doesn't appear on the wiki, which is quite interesting. Yeah. Hold on a second. Devastator front, Reflector versus Perceptor back by Guido. Alternative cover. Devastator on the front. Yeah, but hold on. Let's have a look at the back here. I'm only checking this out just because I need to take this issue out of here anyway and give it a fresh bag and board. Let's just take that out. Yeah, that's right. That's Perceptor and Reflector on the back. So that is right. It's just the image isn't on the wiki. So that's fine. Let's have a look. That's issue 2. Where's issue 2? So that slots in there nicely. You're immediately thinking to yourself, oh yeah, I'm getting out of here. He's gone crazy. Issue 5, A and B. And then I've got that issue 5, which needs to get bagged and boarded separately. And then issue 6, yeah, just has the A and B covers. So that's it. So that is all of Prime Directive. Like I say, with the exception of a bag and board needed for that issue. Dreamwave is one of those comics, but it's such a black sheep for the Transformers community. You know what it is? It's a black sheep for the Transformers community purely because of the way it ended. And because of the horrible business practices and the way that so many people who are beloved in the community were cheated out of, thousands and thousands of pounds. I've often said, and I don't say this as a means to excuse the Lee brothers or anything like that, but ultimately, they were very, very young with Dreamwave, and it's quite clear that, at least in my mind anyway, and I say this as just somebody who has paid a little bit of attention to comic book history, especially around that time. The 90s were the rock star years for comic books. It was when artists became rock stars. It's when you had Image and you had Todd McFarlane. And I think it's quite clear that, the Lee brothers tuned into Transformers. You've got to remember that, until, probably very recently, these first few issues of Transformers were selling better than any other comic book in the US. These were bigger than Batman. These were bigger than X-Men. It didn't last very long. But I imagine, given the nature of it, they felt like they were absolutely onto a winner. And, they probably overspent and didn't... They weren't good business people. And that's it. I mean, you can argue, oh, well, Dreamwave didn't have very good comics. Put it this way. I would put I would put the worst of Dreamwave up against the worst of IDW, and I think Dreamwave wins that battle. But then again, you know, Dreamwave was around for 2 years. IDW was around for 17. It is not an apples. It's not a. It's very much a an apples and oranges comparison. You know, they're two very different beasts. But yeah, you know, Dreamwave. It was what it was. It was like of its time, and it's. Hey, what do they often say? The star that burns brightest burns twice as quick. I don't even know if that's actually the saying or not, but yeah. Okay, let's get cracking now. We're on to the second series of Dreamwave. So let's have a look. Right, was there a preview issue? No, the preview was in the trade paperback. That's right. There wasn't an issue. Right, let's have a look. So, this is the second volume. So this is Autobot cover A and Decepticon cover A. This is the... Right, okay, so hold on a second. Yeah, so Dynamic Forces cover. So there's two Dynamic Forces covers here. So you've got the Dynamic Forces with the chrome lettering, and then you have the Dynamic Forces with just the bog standard lettering. You know, it's so funny. Like, I've had these. What's this? Number 6033. They, like, come with certificates. But I've never opened them just because they've got the Dynamic Forces stamps on. What's that? Issue 1756. I think... Which... I'm trying to figure out which... IDW, God. Which Dreamwave issue has the least amount of issues published? That preview issue is like limited to 4,500. I know that, but I'm sure there's some covers for War Within that have got like print runs of like 99. But anyway, let's have a look. The foil cover, which is that one. And then the Shockwave one, which is that. So that cover, that Shockwave cover, like, is... Let's have a look. Those two covers match up. Like, if you put those two covers together, it's Autobots versus Decepticons. But Shockwave slots into the middle of those ones. So, you know, if you've read the story, you know exactly why that is. So, yeah. Oh, that bag needs to be replaced. It's a little torn. It's probably a good idea to get fresh bags for all of these, to be honest. Let's have a look. Sorry, I do apologise. I am periodically jumping backwards and forwards to the chat just to see if anybody is saying anything. Oh, lots of people saying things. Oh, and there's like 5 people watching. Oh my god. What if you... Please, have something better to do on a Saturday. Some weird good news as a comic collector is that since they have a negative reputation means I was able to get all of Dreamwave for a good price this year from hunting in my local comic book shop. Hey, yeah, good. You know what? And like I say, I'm never going to stand here and say that my love of Dreamwave isn't heavily based on the nostalgia of it. But I like the fact that people are like giving it a shot and that it's not forgotten. Because I think the lessons that Dreamwave can teach us about Transformers, and especially about like the early 2000s, you know, I say it all the time, like Dreamwave was, it is the perfect encapsulation of right time, right place. You know, if Dreamwave had come out 3 years later, it wouldn't have worked. If they'd come out 3 years earlier, it wouldn't have worked. Right time, right place, right product. And the fact that it only lasted for as long as it did, well, yeah. Got the cert that comes with every dynamic. Yeah, like I don't think I've opened any of my Dynamic Forces ones, so I'm sure I've got all of them. Yeah, love the cert. Such good. the third arc of War Within. Yeah, I know. It's so we'll talk about the War Within, I suppose, when we get to it. Like I say, I don't know how long this stream is going to last. Oh, I haven't been on here in ages, Ben. Like, I literally haven't. It's been a long, long time. But like I say, I've got some stuff that I'm sort of working on. Most of my time is basically being taken up with TFN these days. Right, let's have a look. Issue 2, cover A and B. Issue 3. Again, I think it's just it's just A and B, Autobot and Decepticon. Issue 4. Now we're cooking with some gas. Again, is just an A and B cover, I believe. Yes, it is A and B. That's right. This was like when they started experimenting with the covers. Like the Autobot and Decepticon covers sort of like filtered out a little bit during the second series. Let's have a look. Countdown. Let's have a look. Yeah, issue 5, cover A and B. And then finally, issue 6. A and B, and the incentive cover, which is the Ultra Magnus breaking out of his armor, which I don't know how true this is. Let's see if the wiki says something. A dealer incentive third cover was only produced to feature 2-page spread of Ultra Magnus literally bursting out of his armor. However, due to a mishap, this cover is extremely rare. Yes, so that's funny actually, because when I bought this, the dealer who I was getting all of my Dreamwave issues from, specifically all of the incentive covers, basically said to me, do you know there's been a misprint and they've had to basically pulp a whole bunch of the Ultra Magnus cover? And I was like, oh no, I had no idea, no clue whatsoever. It's like, yeah, so you're really lucky you've got it, because I think I only got like 7 in, bearing in mind the guy that I was going through at the time was like, you know, like big with his incentive covers and things like that. So like, yeah, that Ultra Magnus cover is apparently like really, really rare. I don't know how rare, but apparently it is. From what I've heard, Takara hired Pat Lee as a box designer. What, now? Like recently? Or what? Because we know how Dreamwave got started. It got started because Pat Lee was working under Image at the time. Like Dreamwave was like basically Dreamwave was what Skybound is now. It's like a subsidiary of Image, but then they broke away when they had was it Toy Fair magazine? I can't remember which issue it was, where they had the Optimus Prime issue, you know, talking about being back in the 80s. So he's still working on bots. All right, okay. I had no idea Takara had hired Pat Lee. Like, I follow Pat Lee on Instagram, and periodically, like, I'll see him, like, post up a whole bunch of his stuff. But I had no idea he was on anything, I guess, that we would define as modern. That's quite interesting. Would you like to see a War Within repurposed into a TV series? Oh, you know what? Like, no, I don't know. Like, I'm of the opinion now that like I'm not really bothered about adaptations, and also I sort of feel like the pre-Earth departure story has kind of been done to death a little bit. I think one of the reasons that War Within sticks out, especially for people in their minds, is because it was really one of the very first times that we got to see that story, you know, before they leave for Earth. Now Earth is the anomaly. It's unique if the show has Earth in it. So I don't think so. No, like I say, if you're going to do something for TV, make it something that benefits from being in the TV format. But you know, I like the designs of War Within. Most Dreamwave I read growing up was the mini pack in comics with Armada and Energon toys. Used to be packed with despite the same story, they repacked several times. Oh god, yeah, when they used to do the mini comics, you'd have the mini comic and then you would have the little catalogs, wouldn't you? It was the same book. It was like a little bit of Dreamwave and then a little bit of the product line and what's coming out. You know what? Like, I miss pack-in comics and things like that. I really wish, like, toy companies would do something like that now, especially given the fact that, we have, like, apps. Like I've said for ages, why can't you put, like, QR codes into... And I get it, like, as soon as somebody opens it up and they put the QR code online, anybody can go to it. Yeah, cool, fine. But... I like the idea of, like, putting a QR code in the box, so you open it up, there's the QR code, you can scan it, and it takes you to, like, a website or something like that you can read on your tablet, and there is, a mini comic for you or something like that. Like, they don't have to go to the expense of printing a comic. They could just still do one, though, and I think that would be really cool. That's really interesting, the Swan. I had no idea. There's pretty much got one coming up for pre-Earth Tale. Yeah. I commissioned Nick Roach at TFN for a Dreamwave The Fallen. Interesting. That's interesting. Especially considering Andrew Wildman was like three tables down. Who, Pat Lee designed The Fallen, didn't he? But Andrew he technically appeared... and whenever we say Pat Lee designed, it's always with quotations. But, Wildman drew him in The Age of Wrath. What are your expectations going to Transformers 1? You know what? Like, super quick, and then we'll get back to more Dreamwave. I was not entirely sure what I was going to expect from Transformers 1. The first trailer, I will admit, did very little for me. In fact, it did nothing for me because I looked at it and I was like, wow, this feels like every other animated movie that has been released. Now, don't get me wrong, like, the Mario Brothers movie was excellent, but I didn't believe that Transformers would necessarily... Like, the Mario Brothers movie was excellent because we've never had... a proper Super Mario Brothers movie. We've had the Mario Brothers movie, but it wasn't like, it took so many liberties. Whereas the Super Mario Brothers movie was like, okay, we're going to make a movie about Super Mario Brothers. Come on, Evie. It's okay. I know. So I was a little dubious about Transformers 1. Then that second trailer hit. And I was like, oh my god, like, everything that I believed about this movie is not true at all. And... then other people who I am exceedingly jealous of got to go see it, and the feedback that I have had from friends who have seen the movie and have talked to me in private, and have no reason to lie, have told me that it's the movie that they have been waiting for 30 years or 40 years. That's quite exciting. That is quite exciting. My only problem is the UK doesn't get it for like 20 days past North America, and already on my feed I'm seeing spoilers popping up. So it's definitely one of those cases where I'm like, wonderful, however, how am I going to avoid like major spoilers? And when I say major spoilers, I'm not really bothered about the story so much. What I'm thinking about is the cameos, because apparently people have said there are so many cameos in there that you need to see it a couple of times to catch all of them. And I just don't want, like, I don't want major cameos spoiled for me. And that's it. I know the IDW and Skybound can only reprint the Dreamwave stuff that was paid for. They can't publish the stuff till Dreamwave pays what is owed. Well, I don't think that's true. Because Dreamwave doesn't exist anymore. So somebody, don't get me wrong, I'm not a solicitor, especially around all of that, but ultimately, the fact that IDW were able to publish Dreamwave stuff after Dreamwave's demise means that Hasbro own all of this. In order to be able to transfer the rights to IDW in order for them to republish stuff. So I think Hasbro could republish all of it. It's just the moral question of there's a lot of people who haven't been paid for this. Because Hasbro won't be on the line for anything that Dreamwave failed to deliver on. So if Dreamwave failed to deliver on payment, Hasbro is not at fault in that instance. Isn't that right, Evie? It's right, isn't it? It's true. So I think it's more of a I don't know is the honest answer. It was a weird one when we were getting the definitive Transformers collection several years ago in the UK, the hardback books. One of the things that hooked me on that was the fact that there was an interview made and the question was asked about the Dreamwave stuff, and we were told prior to the series being published that yes, they were going to publish all of the Dreamwave stuff, even the stuff that hadn't been collected. Then they reneged on that. So I don't know. Maybe that's it. Maybe they reneged on it based on the fact that they're not allowed to publish it, or maybe it was more the fact that because Simon Furman was working alongside them, he was like, hey, do you know these people never got paid for this, so therefore you profiting off it seems like a bad idea. I don't know. Maybe. Right, let's have a look. Now we're onto the ongoing, so let's book through this. Where are we? Issue 0. Issue 0 covers A and B, which is Megatron and Galvatron. Issue 1. Oh, issue 1 has a lot of cover. So we've got the basic full wraparound cover, which is fine. We've got the convention exclusive. What convention was this for? It says convention exclusive, but I'm not sure for which convention it was. But it's the Dinobots, anyway, raining from the sky. Incidentally, that one's been signed, but I have no idea by whom. That's quite interesting. I've never noticed that it's actually been signed, but Brad Mick and Don Figueroa, I've never met either of those, so this must have been signed before I got it. So whichever convention this is for, and the only reason I know it's convention is because it says convention exclusive, but the wiki doesn't say Transformers. Oh, TransformerCon exclusive. What the heck is TransformerCon? Okay, so I'm guessing this is a signature from, I guess, Don Figueroa? Figueroa? I mean, I've never been entirely sure on how you pronounce it. So there was the Silver Snail exclusive, which is that one, which is, so that's the Silver Snail exclusive. That's limited to 1,000 copies, and that's the Bruticus cover. That's just the alternative cover. And there's the 2 Dynamic Forces again. Dynamic Forces limited to 2,500 copies and 1,000 copies. So, yeah. And again, the only difference between the Dynamic Forces is one's got chrome lettering, the other one doesn't. And they've still got their certificates and have never been opened. Right. Oh, what? Why have I packed these in such a weird way? So what's that? That's issue 1. That's Sunstorm. Sunstorm. Dealer incentive cover. Dealer incentive variant featuring Sunstorm retails This cover for every 25 regular covers ordered. Alright, okay, so that was just a bog standard one. I'm keeping that one out, actually, because I've also got a issue 4 cover in there as well. Transformers 20th Anniversary Celebration. 1984 to 2004. How ironic that we're here 20 years later for it. Let's have a look. Oh, right, okay, yeah, so we are banging through these, because these only had one cover. Issue 2 and issue 3. You could tell that the sales had dropped off at this point, because, like I say, we've gone down from 3 covers to 2 covers to 1 now. Issue 4. Wow! That's weird. Yeah, so issue 4, and that one, which is the incentive cover, and then issue 5. Wow, the wiki's sort of like breaking on me. A lot of these issue 5, some of these wiki entries aren't even like complete properly. Issue 6, which just had the one cover. Issue 7 just has the one cover. Issue 8 has the one cover. Now, I've got the summer special in there as well, which again, I think just has one cover. That's only in there because chronologically, if you're going to read it, the summer special, the 20th anniversary summer special comes before issue 9 and issue 9 and issue 10, and that's it. That is Dreamwave's Generation 1 output. The summer special, did that have that only had one cover? Yeah, I'm positive it did. Yeah, it did. Oh, look at all these comments. I still wish that movie had a different title. What? Transformers 1? It'll be interesting to find out whether or not the title means anything. That's part of the excitement, I suppose, of it. When I commissioned him, I forgot that Wildman designed... Like I say, I'm sure Pat designed, just Wildman drew the first one. When I made my TF Nation video, I credited Don and Andrew for creating, as Don did the covers. Yeah, like I say, I could be wrong, but I'm sure the reason that I put money on the fact that Pat designed the Fallen is because I think and I would have to pull it out, in the Dark Ages trade paperback, there is an interview with Pat Lee and Simon Furman about the creation of the Fallen. So that could be it. Has it been 10 months already? 10 months? Confused. A monster at yeah, I know. Tell me about it. That's been sat on my desk, like waiting to be finished off for like hours. So, hey Dave, hope you're well. Good, thank you. Get done for the next TFN. Ask him. TFN exclusive Skybound variants when? But if they return our calls. TF Wiki not complete. That's it. We riot. Yeah, well, hey, look. All I'm saying is that perhaps whoever was updating the wiki, like when it came to Dreamwave, just sort of gave up at the end. Picked up the summer special at TFN from Simon Furman, bringing my Dreamwave collection down to only 3 missing issues. Oh, interesting. Pat did design him. Yes, I thought he did. Right. Okay. So that is all of the Transformers issue. So I have all of those covers now. Now then, let's go to, where will we go now? We will go to The War Within, because, you know, we're pretty much cooking with gas here when it comes to The War Within. Right. I think this is all of The War Within, but let us double check. So, right, we have the 2 preview issues. Now, that's interesting that they're in that order, purely because of the fact that what's kind of weird, if you've never read Dreamwave, is that the War Within preview, the preview comic came out the month before the comic started coming out, which is a weird thing actually, because comic book shops place their orders for comics, or it used to anyway, several months in advance. So you would want to put your preview issue out several months in advance so people could get excited. They put this out like the month before, and I don't. No, this one must have, yeah, it's got a sale price. Unlike the G1, where it was only for it was literally only for shops. But what's interesting about this is that this preview issue fits chronologically, the story that's told in here fits between issues 2 and 3. So that's kind of interesting. So there's that one, but then there's the Dreamwave. This is like a Dreamwave preview issue, but it has the War Within story in there as well. Okay, so that is. I do apologise. She's come on, settle down. Right, let's have a look through here. The War Within. We have War Within issue 1 wraparound cover. That's fine. We then have the 3D cover. I don't know if that makes any sense, if that is working. So that's the weird 3D cover. We then have these 2 covers. Like I say, I think these might be like the rarest. I think I'm looking at it. 450 copies for the gold foil, which is that one, and 99 copies for the platinum. And they have, the certificates there. I've got issue 46 and issue 59 respectively. Certified by some dude. New Dimension Comics. Oh, that's interesting. I've never noticed that before, actually. They come with... you probably can't see it, but they actually come with that 3D thing. They're both in the back there. So okay, so we got that. So that's issue 1 of the War Within. Issue 2 is that one, which just had the one cover. And then we have chronologically the preview issue, issue 3, just the one cover, issue 4, just has the one cover, and then issue 5, I want to say, for whatever reason, had several covers, didn't it? It had, let's have a look. So that's issue 5's cover, and that is the other cover. Let's have a look. What's this? Regular cover, Lightning Strike Coalition by Don Figueroa, which is that one. Incentive cover, Optimus Prime by Pat Lee. Titanium series cover, Optimus Prime fights Megatron by Don Figueroa and Josh Burcham. Artwork reused for Transformers' Greatest Battles of Optimus Prime and Megatron. So I am missing a cover from War Within Volume 1. So that's interesting. I don't have that cover. And there's issue 6. Titanium series cover. But they don't have an image of it. Titanium series cover, Optimus Prime fights Megatron. So they've got a shot of the image with line art, but it's the IDW reprint reused for the greatest battles of Optimus Prime and Megatron. Okay. That's curious. Issues 5 and 6. So, we have a mystery, everybody. We have a very interesting mystery going on. Let's have a look. What do we... that's how long it's been your latest live... Oh! Oh, 10 months. Yeah. Well, this is what happens when, like, you help to run a convention. One thing I found weird about the preview was that it was its own story. No, yeah, like, it's just a nice little filler scene. Like, something that I'm sure Simon probably wrote and realised that he didn't have enough page count for it. How did you get those out of curiosity? If you're talking about the preview issues, that's because when Dreamwave hit in the early 2000s, I was all in, and I found a comic book retailer who was all in on getting the Dreamwave stuff, and I was just like, right, if it's Dreamwave, I want it. That's how I've got the lithographs. Like, 2 seconds, bear with me. One of the lithos is impossible to reach. But like I got, if it was Dreamwave, I got everything, which is why, like, I own stuff like this, which is one of the giant lithos that they did. This was the one commemorating the 20th anniversary. This is like Don's like G1, and I don't know how well you can see this. I don't know if it's coming through in the slightest, but like you've got, you know, like Sunstorm here, who was obviously very prevalent in Dreamwave. You know, Shockwave. I mean, it's Shockwave, but you know, it's unmistakably like Dreamwave. I've got the other one, which is the James Reyes one. Oh, incidentally as well, and I feel really bad about this, because I posted this on X like a couple of months ago, and was like, this hangs on my wall. The reason I'm holding it in my hands right now is because it needs to get rehung, because I've moved things around in the room. So I posted this on X, just being like, you know, I look at this like every day and it's amazing. And then Don like replied with one of the saddest tweets that I've ever received, where he was like, I'm glad you get a lot of joy from it. I only wish I'd gotten paid for it. And the fact that I own this and Don has never seen a penny of it, like, sucks. Like, it really, really does. But, yeah. So, to answer the question, where did I get all of these from? I literally got them at the time they were being published. However, I am missing a War Within cover, which is weird, because I don't remember that cover existing ever. Like, I would, if I was to put money on where the gaps are, I would have said the gaps were somewhere in Armada / Energon, not War Within. So I'm going to go have a look through. Probably came with the toy line. Fake Dreamwave fan doesn't have every cover. I know, clearly. I need to hand in my Dreamwave fan card. If somebody could tell me their current address, I will be more than happy to turn that over and give myself 20 lashings. Let's have a look. SS, the Predacons one, I enjoyed Dreamwave lots. It's the way Micromasters, etc. The ongoing was slowly finding its feet. You know what? Like, the ongoing... I really like the ongoing. It was quite clear there was some long-form storytelling going on, which I liked at the time. Yeah, it's just a shame that it never got anywhere. Random question, but do you still have Simon Williams' Ravage from Auto Assembly 2008? YouTube randomly recommended your video. Yes, I do. That is in the other room in one of my art folders. Yes, Simon Williams, who was at TF Nation this year, he drew some of the artwork for More Than Meets the Eye, which was Dreamwave's character profile books, and I own the original pencils for his Ravage drawing in there. What other properties did Dreamwave have? Did they have the Capcom license? They did. They published a Mega Man book, and they published, like, I want to say 3 issues of a Devil May Cry book, which I have somewhere in a long box. I don't think the Devil May Cry book finished. Could be wrong about that, but yeah, they definitely did. They didn't publish a Resident Evil book because I think DC had the rights at the time, like, because Resident Evil's had like a couple of comic books, and I know DC's published one of them. Here's a really interesting fact for you: the very first Resident Evil comics, which came out just as Resident Evil 2 was hitting, so this would have been like 1998. Like, some of the original covers for those Resident Evil comics were done by Jim Lee. Like, Jim Lee of Batman Hush / president of DC Comics fame. Kind of crazy, isn't it? I think they had Street Fighter. Did they have Street Fighter? No, Udon has... Udon has Street Fighter and has had Street Fighter for 20 years now, but I don't think Dreamwave did. There's a lot of cross-pollination between Dreamwave and Udon. Like, once the Lee brothers were out, a lot of people... Like Chris Saraceni, who wrote... Armada, the beginning of Armada, and the original 6 issues of Transformers before, what I am told, a power play was made within the halls of Dreamwave to get Saraceni off the book, and to get Brad Mick, quote unquote, on the book. Chris Saraceni, that he has recently done a Street Fighter Origins Sagat trade paperback. I say trade paperback, sorry, hardcover for Udon, which came out like about 6 months ago. It's actually really good. You know, the Street Fighter comics, they're few and far between these days, but Evie, come on. Mega Man, they definitely had Mega Man. Didn't know they own other 80s properties alongside Transformers. They did Turtles. Dreamwave did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I never read any of them, but they did. Because this was around the time that, like, He-Man was getting new comics and stuff, because this would have been around that 2000X period. And incidentally, the He-Man books had these... Who did it? Was it Dark Horse? They did a series called Icons of Evil, and it was brilliant. It was basically the origin story for all of the Skeletor and his lackeys, and it was really, really good. So, right. Okay, we're going to leave that War Within cover for now. Let's crack on with the Dark Ages. Here we go. So, issue 6, yeah, we've got that. That just has the one cover. Dark Ages, issue 1. Other cover, which is B. The incentive cover with the Fallen, and Andrew Wildman's Dynamic Forces cover. Limited to 3,000 copies, and I have 999. That's a very satisfying number to have. Issue 2, which is there. Issue 3, which is there. I'm sure these all had just one issue, but we can never tell now. Issue 4. Yeah. Issue 5. Yeah. Issue 6. There we go. So that is all of the Dark Ages. Yeah. Yeah, so that's right. So Age of Wrath. Age of Wrath has, I want to say, yeah, Joe's cover, Joing, Don's cover, Pat Lee's incentive cover. Oh, that's interesting. According to the wiki, there is a Dynamic Forces cover for Age of Wrath issue 1, and it doesn't have an image on the wiki. It doesn't have an image. If you go, and I'm doing this purely, exclusive. If you were ever trolling through the wiki and you were like, oh, I wonder what the fourth cover, the Dynamic Forces cover for Age of Wrath issue 1 looks like, because the wiki can't help me, that's what it looks like. There you go. But it's not on the wiki. I'm going to have words with those guys. Yeah, there we go. That's the Dynamic Forces. Again, still sealed. Won't take it out, so can't tell you what's on the back. That's a bit weird. Right. We haven't got much yet. Issue 2. And finally, issue 3. And that's it. And that was the end of War Within. That issue 1 cover, that first series cover is going to bother me a little bit. Never forget, Jim Lee did Galvatron for Transformers US 67. There you go, you see. Yeah, he's been around for a long time. I found that TMNT number 1 a few years back for 20. I gave it to my friend as she loves the Turtles. Yeah, did I read any of Dreamwave's Turtle books? I think I did. But I can't remember. Like, I can't remember anything about them. And again, I'm sure, like, those books started landing, like, right at the tail end. Like, I'm sure Devil May Cry never finished. But yeah. I've recently binge-watched He-Man 2002 and original. I wish 2000 cartoon had lasted longer. I found it really well written. You know what, right? I would never consider myself a Masters of the Universe fan, okay? Like, I grew up with He-Man, but when friends were like, oh, He-Man is my favourite thing, I was always like, no, Transformers is the better thing. Like, that's just the way it was. Yeah, it was always Transformers for me. I love the Dolph Lundgren Masters of the Universe movie, but man, that 2000X series is just amazing. Like, from beginning to end, it's just fantastic. I love it. It's ironic, I think, that cartoon came to an end so abruptly after, I want to say season 2. purely because of the fact that the toys didn't sell. Despite the quality of that cartoon, just because the toys didn't sell very well, because I think everybody knows the story that they just kept packing the line with too many He-Mans and Skeletors and not enough like B and C tier characters. That's the rumour that people always talk about. But, you know, Transformers Armada, on the other hand, had a unique play pattern. It was it was fun, it was intuitive and stuff like that. And that revitalized Transformers for an entire generation of people and went on to spawn 2 sequel series, each with their own unique gimmicks, and yet the cartoon is dog crap, let's be honest, because it was pushed out so quickly. You know, it gets better as the show goes on, but I just find it ironic that the better show lost out because the toy line wasn't as fun. Submitted. I wouldn't even know how. I could take a picture of it, but I don't think anybody cares. For the most part, I remember Dreamwave fondly with their Armada Energon being a standout. Like when, so we'll get to that in a second because we're going to barrel on through with these. These definitely only had one issue. This is the More Than Meets the Eye books, issue 1, issue 2, issue 3, issue 4. Issue 5 and issue 6. Some of these covers for More Than Meets the Eye are just excellent. Like, they're probably some of the highlights. Issue 7 and issue 8. And it's odd that you don't really see, like, a great deal anymore. Anyway, so that's War Within. I am desperately running out of space here. Right. What are we on now? Hey, look, it's everybody's favourite. Let's talk a little bit about Micromasters. Right, where are we? Dreamwave Productions. Micromaster series. 4 issues. 4 issues of arguably the worst. the worst. Now, look, here's the thing about Micromasters, right? The reason that Micromasters is dreadful, in my opinion, right? And your mileage may vary. Is that right? Okay, so it turns out that actually, Micromasters is one of those ones where I am missing a load of covers. But the reason that Micromasters is dreadful is because Micromasters has a bunch of characters that you don't know. And nobody can... If you can just rattle off Micromasters, with the exception of Erector and Big Daddy, then you've got a problem. And you need to go outside and get some sun or find Jesus. And I think that's the biggest problem with the Micromasters miniseries, is the fact that it's just a bunch of characters that you have no connection with. I might reread this, actually, now that it's out. Right, we've got a lot of covers that are missing here. So, and a lot of covers that are not even listed on the wiki. So, what are they saying? They're saying there's 6 covers to issue 1. So, those are the bog standard covers. That's another cover, the Golden Disc. That's the Incentive B, but the disc is shiny. All right, okay. So there's another cover here where the disc is shiny, and then there's Dynamic Forces covers, 2 of which by Joe NG, limited to 2,000 copies, and a red foil cover, same as the original Dynamic Forces, but limited to 1,000 copies. So that will be, again, the lettering will be different on it. So I need to find Micromasters alternative covers. Woe is me, what is my life? Why would I even consider doing that, except for the fact that I am seriously considering doing it? Wow, there was a lot of Micromasters covers. Hold on a second. So, issue 2, and then there's another cover. I must have hated Micromasters really, really badly. Yeah, there's 2 covers for issue 3. Oh, right, I have both covers for issue 3, so that's fine. And then issue 4. Yeah, so I've got both covers for issue 4. Right, so does anybody have any Dynamic Forces Micromasters covers? Which is I am the only person in the 6.5 billion years that this planet has existed. The only person to have ever asked that question. Does anybody have any Dynamic Forces Micromaster covers? That is a sentence that has never been uttered in the entire history of the human race until today. And God, don't I feel horrible for it. But never mind. Let's have a look. You could be brave and track down the writer. If you're talking about the writer of the ongoing series, I did. I contacted Adam Paddock and who's the other fella? Adam Paddock and James McDonough. They ran like a consulting firm, and about 10 years ago, I reached out to them and was like, "Hey, I love your stuff. Like, I need to talk to you about it. Would you be prepared to come and talk to me about it?" And they were like, "Nah, mate." I say that in jest. They were a lot politer than that. I've just found a whole load of War Within comic books. Haha! Hold on. We're going back. We're going back. I think... You know what? I think we might have had a moment here, everybody, where I am about to turn around to you and say, actually, you know what? You know those missing issues? Let's have a look. Where were we? It was War Within, and it was War Within Volume 2, wasn't it? Where I was... Right. Issue 1, we had all of the covers, so that was fine. Was it issue 2? No. Issue 2... So hold on a minute. Let's go back. Where's the War Within books? Alright, we're definitely missing Micromaster covers. Potentially. Oh, what is my life? Welcome to a Friday night. Right. Let's hold on a sec. Hold on to whatever god you believe in. Issue 1. We went through issue 1. Yeah, that's cool. Right. For some strange reason, I own 2 copies of that cover, which is fine. So that would explain why that was just shoved at the back. I should have made a note of these. Issue 3. Issue 4. No, hold on. Oh, hold on a minute. No, do I just own extra copies of War Within Age of Wrath? Yes, I think I do. And a whole load of issues. Why do I own so many copies of... Ah, right. Forget it. We haven't made a discovery. I just own extra issues of War Within. That's disappointing. I thought we broke ground there. We haven't. I just have a whole buttload more issues of War Within. Oh well. That's disappointing. Right. let's have a look then. Where are we? The older I get, the more I appreciate Dolph He-Man movie. It was a great movie. It was so much fun. Toys dictate the shows? Absolutely, they do, because they're toy companies. And shock horror, like, despite the fact that Hasbro wishes it wasn't, they make money by selling toys. You could be brave and track down the writer. Oh, we've talked about that one. As I believe the writers get a copy of every issue plus variants, even exclusives. Yeah, very true, very true. Dear Bradmick, I am writing to you because I have a problem, and only you can help. Do you have the Dynamic Forces covers for Micromasters? The 2000X cartoon lasted for 13 episodes in Season 2 and axed on the bookended arc with the Snake Men. Yes, that's right. That's right, it did. Looking for a series comic covers that you don't like. We need to stage an intervention. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You do. They did a Walter White type thing and burned all their copies of Micromasters while staring at it. Yeah, probably. You didn't have the Titanium series cover. That's right. It was Volume 1, wasn't it? If you have spare Dark Ages 2, 5, and 6, I am looking for those. I do, as a matter of fact. However, I might not be in a position to part with them for reasons that I will explain shortly. I think I remember why I've got spares to complete my Dreamwave collection. But let me have a look. Right, okay. Let's... Armada Energon. This is it. This is the last holdout here. Let's see where we are with this. Evie. Come on, princess. Settle down. Right. This is where I definitely know there are gaps in the collection. Let's have a look. All right. So there is the preview issue, which is bordered alongside the preview issue for G1, because the other preview issue was just Transformers Armada. Was just the G1 preview with the Transformers Armada preview issue in it as well. Then there is the free comic book day Transformers Armada book. Here's an interesting tidbit. At some point, right, okay. I think right off the bat we're already missing stuff here. So, Transformers 1 has that cover, but there's also another cover as well. So, and then issue 2. Issue 3, yeah, and then I'm missing an alternative cover for that. At least, hold on, am I? Like, I haven't, like, stuck... let's just check here. Yeah. Yeah, and then we're into Energon, so there definitely aren't any... yeah, this is definitely where it falls apart in terms of missing covers. At least I say that, because I thought... Right, okay, yeah. So... right. Issue 3. Issue 4. Which we've got... That doesn't have any other covers. Issue 5 doesn't have any other covers. Issue 6 doesn't have any other covers. Issue 7 doesn't have any other covers. Issue 8 doesn't have any other covers. Oh, issue 9 and issue 10 issue 11 issue 12 13 14. Incidentally, by the way, just as a random bit of trivia, we are now into Worlds Collide, which is one of my all-time favorite comic book stories. I love Worlds Collide. If you haven't read it before, like, you're not going to be blown away anymore. But this was, like, one of the very first times that, like, Transformers dealt with, like, multiple realities and things like that. You know, in the Marvel UK, in the Marvel US run, you would deal with different realities based on, like, you know, different futures and times and stuff like this. But this was like a G1 universe, issue 18, which is the last issue. You know, the G1 universe, a version of the G1 universe crashing into the Armada one. And has one of my all-time favorite depictions of Galvatron. Like I always say, it's like, what if Unicron got the G1 Galvatron right? Like, he wasn't insane, and he shows up in this series, and he's just a monster, and it leads to this really kick-ass moment where he's taking on Armada Megatron, who, you know, is just cool. Right, Energon, 19. So this has 3 covers. So that's cover 1, cover 2, and there is an Energon Optimus Prime facing off against Scorponok's claws, art by Question Mark. And looking at the cover artwork, a Walmart exclusive deluxe comic book. You are absolutely kidding me. Who's going to have that? Do you want out? If I let you out, will that make you happy? Go on. It's dark out there. Now the door's shut. Wasted your opportunity. That's not going to be easy to track down, if at all. Alright. 20 just has one cover. 21 just has one cover. Wait a minute, hold on. 21. 22. 23. 24. 25. 26. Oh, hold on a minute. Go back. Go back. Aha, yeah. There was 2 covers for issue 25. Because I have the other one. There it is. So I've got them. So I've got those 2 covers. 26 is that one with just the 1 cover. 27 is this one. 28 29. We're getting somewhere. We're nearly there. Issue 30. Which is, if memory serves, published 8th of December 2004, making it, I think, the last Dreamwave issue ever published. And then, of course, we have the poster book, which is there, and then we have issues 1 and 2 and 3 of the Transformers Armada More Than Meets the Eye official guide, which means that we are a lot of Micromaster Dynamic Forces covers short, and more importantly, there is a Walmart exclusive cover. How in the heck I'm going to find that, I have no idea. Did that come with a toy, though? I don't know. Anyway, so that's it. That is like all of the Dreamwave comics that I have. I have more than anybody needs, but I'm missing some, and it's hurting. It's annoying me a little bit. Let's have a look. Issue 7 had a variant, and that's it. Let's have a look. I don't think they did a lot of variant covers for the Armada comics. Yeah, clearly there's a couple there. You could also try to track down volume 27, 28 of the definitive G1 collection. They contain issues 8 to 18 in the profile books. Funnily enough, I still have a load of the definitive G1 collection, but the only ones that I've ever pulled out are like the Dreamwave ones. G1 Galvatron versus Armada Megatron was Clash of the Titans. It absolutely was. It wouldn't be a Dreamwave comic if the cover didn't feature a character screaming on the cover. It was of the time, you know, we're talking early 2000s, like Dragon Ball is like at its peak. You know, screaming was a big thing in the early 2000s. Unicron's minions of Galvatron, Scourge, Bludgeon, and Dirge. Yeah, yeah. I know. Like, I kind of like that because it's just like, and Dirge, really? But okay. If I learned anything from a decade of collecting Transformers, it's that Transformers fans will collect anything. 100%. You know, we have Transformers fans that. So I wish to like expand on that thought, and the way I'm going to expand on it is perhaps going to be offensive to some people here, bearing in mind that I have just gone through 20-year-old comic book series for a series that died. But the one thing that I have noticed, come on, I'll let you out again. Let's try again. There you go. I told you it's dark out there. That's why you don't want to go out. The reason that Transformers fans will collect anything is because Transformers has like one of the most thriving third-party communities in fandom. We literally have groups of fans of Transformers who do not buy Transformers. They buy third-party Transformers from other companies that aren't licensed at all, but just look like the characters that they want. That's always felt a bit weird to me, I'm not going to lie. Like, I like Transformers so much that I will not support officially licensed product. Okay, then. But yeah, we will collect like literally anything. Good evening, Dave. Hello, everyone in the chat. It's great to see and hear you all. Pretty sure you can find the Walmart comic at a comic shop. It's funny you mentioned Armada, David. Have you started rewatching Armada today? No! I will never rewatch Armada, but I will read Armada comic books. Right, okay. So there we go. we now have an idea of what we're missing. The biggest takeaway for me, apart from the missing the missing Micromaster issues, is this War Within cover. That's the one that's bugging me the most. You know what? Like, you just said that nobody should rewatch the Unicron trilogy. Here's an interesting tidbit for you. I've never watched Cybertron. I only watched Galaxy Force. And I like Galaxy Force. Like, Galaxy Force is actually quite an enjoyable show. Having said that, though, I don't know whether or not is that any better? Has audio been restored? Ah, excellent. No idea what happened. Turn it off, turn it back on again. That seems to be the way. Having said that, though, I do apologise. I literally told you all the secret to the meaning of life, and I can't possibly say it again. So I guess you're just going to have to just live without knowing. Sorry. Anyway, right. Let's have a quick chat. Probably another 20 minutes or so. I am how Dreamwave really ends silently with confusion and a lack of control. That's it. Buy all of the Transformers. And by the way, no, I am absolutely not currently looking at eBay listings for Transformers Micromasters. Oh my god, the comics are on eBay. The comics are on eBay. And they're ridiculously cheap. Wait a minute, I own those covers. I'm sure I do. Right. Right, bear with me, because I am about to, like, splurge on a... Somebody's about to have a run on Transformers Micromasters covers. Of course they're on eBay. Of course they are. Right, let's have a look. Where are we? Let's just double check this then. You are about to witness, everybody, the worst, most depraved that humanity can get. When a grown-ass 40-year-old man, I wish I was 40, 40-plus man, sits alone at his computer, ready to buy Dreamwave Micromasters covers. Right, let's have a look. Okay, so cover 1, cover 2, cover 3, dynamic forces. Right, okay. Let's have a look. All right. Ah, what is my life coming to? Wow. Okay, that's coming from the US, but I need that cover. Let's have a look. £46 for one of the for that cover with the chrome golden disc. So I've got that. Let's have a look. Sorry, this is totally unexciting for you. This is literally somebody sat on the internet looking at eBay. I can't apologize enough for the depraved level of content that I am currently subjecting you all to. Right. Issue 2. I have that cover but I need that cover, and that is on eBay, and that's fine because that is £1.50. No, it's not. It's $4.99, but that's fine. What's the quality like? Does it say? Fantastic issue. This is a fantastic issue of Transformers Micromasters 2. Well, he's already lying to me. So let's just add it to the basket. Because it is a fantastic issue, apparently. Who'd have thought that anybody would dare to define Micromasters as a fantastic issue? See, even Evie is shocked and horrified by the notion. Issue 3 has 2 covers, which is those, so that's fine. And then issue 4 has 1 cover. Yeah, which is that. No, it doesn't. It has 2 covers, which I have both of. Right, okay. So, I currently have those 2. I have 2 of those covers that I need in there. Let's have a look at this Transformers Armada cover. eBay. Dreamwave. Armada issue 3. Right. Oh, the sarcasm. We're happy that you're happy that you found those covers. Like, I am not. Like, I am not happy with myself. Do not mistake knowing that you have a problem. And at least it's not drugs. Yeah, you lot are a great support. A bargain. My descent into madness. Yeah, this is what it is. This is what happens, right? When you come back from a Transformers convention where you have just had the best time, you start realizing that you need more Transformers. Somebody said it earlier, like, we realize that the way to a better life is to buy more Transformers. And unfortunately, sometimes we make the worst decisions. The only difference is that I am putting it out there. I am putting it out there to the world that my mistakes are my own and that I own them. Yeah, sorry, I did mute. I muted because I was like severely concentrating. But yes, so right. I am currently scrolling through and okay, so that's weird, right? I'm looking at the Armada issue, the Armada cover, that I have been told that I am missing, right? So here's where it gets weird. So, according to the wiki, which we have already proven was or is incomplete. Okay? The Transformers Armada issue 3 has an alternative cover, Minicons in Field Stays in Terror by James Reyes. Right? However, that cover is the same cover that appears on issue 8. The wiki makes jokes about the fact that something feels incredibly familiar about all this. So, did they create the same cover twice? Except it's all issue 8. Issue 8, issue 8, issue 8, issue 8. I can't find any reference. Issue 8, issue 8. Let's have a look. Right, I do apologise, everyone. I think I'm going to have to go because poor Evie, she's not settling. Normally she settles down like by about this time, but she's not. Bless her. Come here, come here, come here. Come on, you've been an active part of this. Let's say hello. Say hello. Are you okay? Are you alright? Yeah. Do you not want Daddy to buy Transformers comics? Alright, go on. Down you go. So, yeah. I'm sorry about this. I think I'm probably going to have to go and try and... 10 out of 10 video. No, it's not. Right. Yeah, I would say Evie popping on was probably the best part of the live stream. Listen, thank you all for like indulging my stupid obsessions. I think we can all accept the fact that we've learned something here. And what we've learned is that I should never be allowed basically to have like disposable income. Because I am currently looking at listings for... Wow! Okay, I've just seen the price of some of these covers. Issue 3. Like, this cover just does not seem to... Well, it definitely doesn't exist on eBay. That's so weird. Why would they release the same cover twice? But why would they, like, just why would they repaint it? Like, and then release it, like, a few issues later as... That's so weird. Like, I'm not saying that the wiki is wrong. I'm just saying that it seems very odd. Now, don't get me wrong. This is Dreamwave we're talking about. So it's not unheard of that it would be crazy. But I think... Let me have a look. Let's see if I can Google image search. Dreamwave, Transformers Armada, Issue 3. Images. Let's just type in cover. Cover. It's issue 8. Right. Hold on. We're going on a bit of a mystery tour here. Like, I'm a dog with a bone now. Like, I just want to check something here. Is the wiki? Is the wiki lying to me? Is that actually issue 3? Or is it? Alright, let's have a look. Alright, you can play along at home here, right? Alternative cover, Minicon's Infield Stay in Terror by James Reyes, which is also the same cover that they use for issue 8. It has a date of October 3rd. 3rd of October. Oh, issue 3, October. Which does line up with the first cover. So that makes sense, right? But is there, or has there ever been, a single image on Google with that cover? I don't know. This is going to take a lot more falling down a rabbit hole. Anyway, listen, I am going to go. Because otherwise, anyway. Right, listen. Thank you all for indulging me for the last nearly 2 hours. You are lovely people, and I greatly appreciate it. McFeely would just laugh at me if I asked him. If I said, hey, can you just clarify something about this cover? He would go, shut up, and he would walk away. And with good cause, to be fair. So, right. Take care, everybody. Enjoy yourself. Stay safe. And I will be back at some other point after I've fallen down a rabbit hole. Right. Bye, all. Have a good night.